Hey guys, getting ready to start trying out our luck on this lead-free body solder kit. First thing I noticed whenever I pulled the files and everything out, the handle that the file goes on was not pre-drilled. It is hard rock maple, but I was kind of concerned seeing it so close to the ends about the wood maybe splitting when you try to put the screws that come with it to hold the files in place. So I took the file body and laid the file on top of it and marked where the holes were. Then did a pre-drill, and that was kind of hard to see, with the drill bit that matches the minor diameter of the screw itself, and went down to the depth of the length of the screw. Excuse me. So now that I've got those pre-drilled, I'm going to turn the camera back off and go ahead and assemble it. I was just letting you guys know that if any of you bought this kit, you probably would be a good idea to pre-drill these so that you wouldn't split the handles out. So I'll bring you guys back in just a minute and we'll continue on with this project. Okay guys, I'm actually setting up two cameras. One that's right here with a little bit of a close-up, and I'm going to turn the other camera on too, and then we'll go ahead and get started. But as you can see, I've got the area cleaned, and after reading the directions with Eastwood, they recommend you get all your surface prep and everything done, which I've welded up a few spots, those corners that I was telling you about that I added some sheet metal into, and I've got those ground down below flush so that the lead will have, or I'm sorry, the lead-free solder will have a chance to go into this. Read all the directions on the containers for the stuff that comes with this. The soldering paste and the flux and solder both are rather toxic as far as the smell and stuff goes. It's got a lot of nasty ingredients and stuff in it, so you may want to make sure that you've got your respirator on, and also I didn't show it last time, I've got both of my doors open. I don't really want to try and run a fan because I had some difficulty last time with that cooling the sheet metal off. So I've got some pretty good cross ventilation through here. There's a light breeze blowing today. It's actually a pretty nice day outside. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and put my respirator on. There won't be a whole lot of talking after this because it's kind of hard for you guys to hear me with the respirator. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I pre-cleaned the area with some wax and grease remover, and then went over it again with some lacquer thinner just to make sure there was no oil or anything on the panel before we start. The next step, it says to take the acid brush and brush some of the flux onto the surface, heat it until it turns silver, and then wipe it off, and then you're supposed to let the surface cool and then apply the lead sticks. So I'll go ahead and get the stuff ready to go for the flux, and we'll see how that goes.
They also said to tin out way past the area that you're actually going to apply the solder to make sure that you've got the area ready to go and it'll accept it so that you can feather edge it out. So I'm going to put a pretty good amount on here. Of course, I'll probably have a big mess once it all gets really hot and it runs down the side of the panel. I'm kind of using where the solder was before as a guideline, just about how far to apply this stuff to. Even though this joint isn't very wide, they had feathered the lead out pretty far. It went almost down to the very top of the quarter panel, and up here about 2 inches above the surface of the joint itself. I know I need to have my gloves on, but it was going to be difficult to try and manipulate the brush with the gloves on, so I'm just going to stick them on right before I start heating the surface. There we go, that looks like a pretty good coat. Alrighty. Alright, time for a little fire. I'm still wiping this off. Okay, I think that's what it's supposed to look like. Put my gloves on now. Quit kicking the tripod. And we'll see if a little bit of the solder will take. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm sorry for the volume being decreased. But it says to heat the metal and also heat the rod a little at a time, and then try and daub it into the surface. It also stresses not to get the metal too hot or it'll just turn into a molten puddle and it'll all run off. So it's going to be kind of critical controlling the heat level in the solder. You can see this stuff actually melts pretty nice. I'm going to try to go down through here and put a little bit more on it, and then we'll try and take the paddle and level it. Oh, about got too hot right there. Did you see that? It's trying to run away. Oh, did get too hot on that one. Yeah, there's definitely a learning curve involved with this. I can already see that right now. This stuff's going to be kind of fun to chase around on a vertical panel like this. Yeah, you really got to watch your heat level, guys. It doesn't take much difference between getting it to go on and it running plumb off the edge. They also stress the fact that it's real important once you get a little bit of lead in there and you start using the paddles to compact that really well so that you lessen the chance for air pockets or voids inside of the solder itself, so that way as you file and even sand this, you don't open up those pockets and have difficulty later on with little pinholes and stuff. So I'm just trying to get a gauge for how warm the panel is. I'm going to go ahead and continue on back through here. I wish I had the car sitting down a little bit lower. It would have been easier to reach. I'm going to try and go right in here and add a little bit more and build that up some, and then I'm going to try and take the paddle and see if we can kind of work that down a little bit without knocking it loose. It feels like it's really adhering pretty good. I can't pry it up off the surface, so I think this stuff's going to take pretty good. Oh man, my arm's getting tired. Okay, that's starting to get a little warm. I think I'm going to let that go. Now, let's see what we can do about leveling that stuff out. So I guess here it'll either work or it'll all end up on the floor and we'll be laughing about it. So. Got too hot. About knocked it out. Yeah, that's definitely a learning curve here to figure out exactly when to stop heating it so it doesn't run off. I think I need to put some more stuff on the paddle. Okay, let's try. Looks like I got a low spot right there. I'm going to actually add a little bit more solder to it.
That's kind of a pain in the rear end right there. It's very difficult to get it level without getting it too hot. And I knew that was going to be the biggest issue, was trying to get it warm without it overheating to the point where the solder was going to fall out. Put some more stuff on my paddle right here, because you see what happens if you don't keep the paddles lubricated. The solder actually starts sticking to the wood and you end up pulling it out of the joint. It still looks like I've got some voids and stuff right here, so I'm probably going to have to heat this up and add some more to it, and I may even take and clean this panel off again because I'm kind of making a mess out of it. But that's getting it kind of where you think it needs to be. So as you guys can see, it's not easy. I have soldered pipes and all kinds of stuff over the years, brazed, welded. You know, this is probably one of the more difficult deals that I've probably ever tried, because of the fact that it's vertical and it is such a large area. If you're not really careful, one minute you're flying, you think you're getting it good, next thing you know it all runs out. So that's probably going to be the biggest challenge for anybody trying to master this, would be to get your heat control. Plus I think I probably need to get a diffuser for the end of my torch, because I think what's happening is all the heat is going into such a concentrated area, and that's why I'm having such a difficult time getting it to spread out without overheating a certain spot. So I'll probably look at getting one of those. Eastwood sells them. They're an additional charge, of course, after paying for this kit, but probably wouldn't be a bad idea. If I had an oxyacetylene rig here at the house, I don't. I broke it. I would probably try and use it and just turn it down to a really, really low flame, because like I said, this is the biggest issue, is the heat control. So I'm going to fire it back up for another few minutes and see if I can get a little bit more on there.
Yeah, how much battery I have up there. Yeah, I'm kind of making a mess out of this, but I kind of figured it'd be like that, so it's still pretty warm. We'll try and go ahead and finish laying the solder in the rest of it before the end of this video, and then I'll probably make some more on working it down. Okay.
That's 30 minutes, so you guys are probably already asleep by now. So I want to turn you off and finish filling this up, and then when I get it kind of ready to machine it down, I will bring you guys back.